Mark Pulver demonstrates true leadership and innovation in manufacturing. His time and dedication to his family-owned and operated company, Syracuse Castings, in addition to his numerous community service engagements, have earned him a spot on MACNY's Manufacturers Wall of Fame.
In 1971, I started working for Syracuse Castings. I really worked there all my life, worked for my dad from the beginning. Started manufacturing in 1997 in Buffalo. That's when a competitor of ours making steel grates went bankrupt, and at the ripe old age of 24 years old, went in and bought a bunch of equipment to do steel fabricating and started in that business.
In 1974, Mark Pulver left Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and took a position as outside salesman for his father Harry Pulver's company, Syracuse Castings. His natural instinct for identifying business opportunity was evident early on, when in 1978 he founded the company's manufacturing plant in Buffalo by way of purchasing assets from a failing competitor. When Mark and his family decided to relocate to Syracuse in 1989, they brought the manufacturing operations to the company's headquarters in Syracuse and centralized all engineering, strategic planning, and manufacturing operations in the city where it all began.
Dad, Harry, hired me, and I was hired as an outside salesman. And at the time, Mark was also working as an outside salesman, and so he started, training me in the job. And so we traveled a lot together, and we spent a lot of time together at that time, and we've worked together ever since. Mark is a guy that's very technical, and his dad was a salesman, and Mark has that sales ability, but he also is a very technical guy. Has an engineering background, and when his dad retired, Mark kind of took over the company and picked it up from where it was and started growing it with different capacities, different areas, different directions.
Mark assumed the CEO position of Syracuse Castings in 1997. Strategic planning continued to guide the company to increased revenue and profits, and in 1998, Mark led the company to adopt a team-based organizational structure and developed products that quickly identified the company as an innovative national leader within the industry. With over 40 years of business prosperity, Syracuse Castings has grown tremendously under the Pulver family philosophy, growing from just a handful of employees in its early stages to nearly 100 employees today. Always willing to lend his time to others, Mark has dedicated much of his time on numerous community boards and civic organizations throughout his entire professional career, including CNY Works, the First Presbyterian Church of Chittenango, and MACNY, where he serves on the board of directors.
I earned a degree as an industrial engineer actually in the 80s, and they talked a lot about a guy named Frederick Taylor, who was the father of industrial engineering. And he said a couple things that absolutely I've come to believe are not true. One is that employees given the chance will do as little work as possible and take as little responsibility as possible. Very negative things that he's known for. And I'm here to say it's not true. Employees really do want to do a good job, and they really want to be proud of the company that they work for.
One thing I can say about Mark is he's a very faithful man. And so he's been faithful to the shareholders of the company, to his employees, to this community. He's a faithful husband and father, and I honestly can't think of a better man that you could give this award to, and I wholeheartedly feel he deserves it.
Through innovation and a consistent focus on quality customer service, Syracuse Castings has become an internationally renowned manufacturing company and a fine example of addressing challenges, encouraging growth, and achieving success in the manufacturing industry. For these contributions and achievements, we are pleased to be honoring Mark Pulver as a 2011 inductee to MACNY's Manufacturers Wall of Fame.